Hello friends, in this video we'll see what are the different types of weights that can be used in Appium for synchronization purpose. So basically, if you know Selenium, we use implicit wait, explicit wait and page load timeout to synchronize your tests. And in Appium also we use the same thing, implicit wait, page load timeout and explicit wait, or also we call it Webdriverwait. So let us see what is the difference between these different types of weights. So let us start with implicit wait first. In implicit wait, what happens is we set the timeout at session level. That means if we set the timeout for like a session, then that timeout will remain for the rest of the session. For example, if you let us say put the 10 seconds as implicit wait, then what will happen is Appium will wait for 10 seconds, and if the element is not found within that 10 seconds, the exception will be thrown, and it will wait for all the elements for 10 seconds. So it doesn't differentiate between two elements. For all elements, the same amount of time it is gonna wait if you set it at implicit wait, and that's why it is called as at the session level. It is not specific to the elements, it is specific to session. So the drawback with this method is, as I said, it is at the session level, and different elements, the same amount of time will be used. Like Appium will wait for the same amount of time irrespective of what element is there. That's the drawback, because in the application most of the time what happens is certain components or the elements will take a different amount of time to load. So you can't have just one timeout for all the elements. So we will see how explicit or Webdriverwait fixes this problem. But before that, let me explain you what is this page load timeout. So when you go from one page to another page, this Appium will wait for say 20 seconds. If we set 20 seconds as page load timeout, it will wait for 20 seconds for the page to load, and then it will perform rest of the operations on that page. But again, with this approach, what happens is that it will wait for that fixed amount of time for each page, and as you know, certain applications might need different or variable amount of time to load. Like certain page can load in 5 seconds, certain or other page may take 30 seconds. So that's why I do not like using this page load timeout as well, because I can't give different timeouts for different pages, and that's the drawback of this using page load timeout. And that's why I prefer using this Webdriverwait, because in Webdriverwait or explicit wait, what happens is we can specify the timeout for each element. Like say for example, element X takes say 10 seconds to load, then we can specify okay, wait for 10 seconds, and then let's say another element takes 20 seconds, then we can specify okay, wait for this element for 20 seconds, and then that's how you can synchronize your tests. So that's the reason I recommend people using this Webdriverwait or explicit wait. And remember that when you use this one, Webdriverwait or explicit wait, do not use these two other methods. You can't mix and match all these methods together. If you are using this one, which I will recommend, do not use this page load timeout and implicit wait timeout. Just stay away from that, because this solves all the problems of synchronization, Webdriverwait. So here is a simple example in Appium where I have specified. This explains how you can create that explicit wait using this Webdriverwait class. And here I have specified ignore no such element exceptions when we are waiting, then poll for after every 1 second. By default it will poll after every half a second, so we can specify that as well. And here we have to give the condition, like how for what condition we have to wait. Here I have specified wait until specific element becomes visible, and this method will return a web element, and then I'm gonna click on that. But the problem with this syntax is that if the exception comes, like element is not found after that timeout, so 10 seconds, then exception will be thrown. But you can create a customized method. For example, this one, wait until element is displayed, where I have passed the location strategy there, and Here you can catch the exceptions if you want. So notice here that I have commented this implicit wait and page load timeout. People keep using this Webdriverwait and implicit wait page load timeout like together, but remember that when you are using this one, do not use this, because here you have specified 10 second, and let us say this line was uncommented, then here you have specified 20 seconds. So what happens is Appium doesn't wait for 10 seconds, even though we have specified 10 seconds here in Webdriverwait. It will wait for 20 seconds, because what logic it uses is that it will consider whichever is the maximum timeout. So it will compare what is the timeout given here, what is the timeout given in implicit wait or page load timeout. It will consider what is the longest, then it will wait for that much amount of time. That's why I do not recommend people using these things together. Just use this Webdriverwait and all your synchronizations problems will fix. If you are facing any issues with this one, let me know through the comments, because I have spent lots of time on this, and after that I'm making this video. So just one question or one issue that I want to discuss before I end this lecture is that sometimes what happens is when you click on the element, Appium think that this element is clicked, but actually the click doesn't work, or the next page doesn't load. In that case, what you can do is you can create a custom method called as the retry click. In that you can pass source element or destination element. These both elements you have to pass using this by location strategy, and then you have to click on the first element, wait for the next element. If it appears, that is well and good. If it doesn't appear, then you have to click on the first element again in the try catch block. That's how you can make your tests much stronger or less flaky, we can say. So that's how you can handle the synchronization in Appium. If you have more questions on this, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this video.